ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य तोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुके। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 42, verse number 23. So in the previous class we read how Krishna he blessed Kubja, and then he went to the place where the bow was kept, bow of Shiva, and people worshipped that. So he was not allowed, yet forcibly he went there, and then he broke the bow. And then all the guards and army people, they came to fight with him, and he and Balaram, they finished everyone, and then they came back from there and took a tour of the city. So that is being described here now. So tayor vicharatoh swairam adityostamupeyivan Krishna Ramo vritau gopaihi purachakatam yetuhu. So these two, Krishna and Balaram, they were strolling in the city at their own will, and then the sunset came, they came to the end. They were surrounded by their cowherd friends, and then they reached their place outside the city, Purat Chaktam Iyudu. So from the city they came out where their carts were parked, because the cowherd people came in bullock carts. So they all arrived there. So is there any comment? Shaktam Shakata Amochanabhidam Mathura Prantastham Nandavasam. So when he says they came to the Shakata, or the cart, means the place where carts were parked. Shakata Vamochanabhidam. So just like some big cities these days, they have camping place in the West where people go and park their campers. In the cities they used to have cart campers, camping ground, where people who came from the village, because if they all go inside the village, inside the city, then they will make chaos. So then they parked outside. So Krishna and Balaram, they found the place, they knew it, and they arrived there. Gopyo Mukunda Vigame Virahaturaya Shashasati Ashashata Ashisharita Madhipurya Bhuvan Sampasyatam Purush Bhushan Gatra Lakshmin Hitvetarano Bhajatas Menam Shri. So suddenly one sloka comes in between which doesn't seem to match what is being described and what is coming after. Usually there is a continuity of the verses, right? Sloka Sangati. This sloka doesn't seem to have much link with the previous and the next one. So Gopyo Mukunda Vigame Virahaturaya Ashashata Ashisha Rita Madhupuriya Bhuvan. So they are saying that the gopis, when Krishna was leaving Vraja, they were in intense separation from Krishna, and at that time they foretold, they spoke certain words. That sloka is there, Rita Madhupuriya Bhuvan. So seems that came true, because they said that when Krishna goes there, then all the women of Mathura, they will feel very happy. This will be like the dawn of happiness for the ladies of Mathura, and it will be a festival for the Yadavas to see Krishna. That's what they said. So this all came true now. And Sampashyatam Purusha Bhushana Gatra Lakshmim Hitvaitranu Vajatas Chakmayan Shri. And it is if Lakshmi Devi herself, she gave up all other devas and has made her abode the body of Sri Krishna, who is Purusha Bhushana, who is the best of the Purushas. So she came and took shelter. Ainam Shri Chakame. Chakame means desired, but actually she came into him, which means basically that he was looking very beautiful. So Vraj Sundari Bhava Bhavitatvad Akasmat Tadviraha Smriti Janita Vishado Munindra Parikshitam Purukatham Smarayati. So Sri Vishnu Chakravarti is explaining why suddenly this topic comes here. He says that Sukadeva Goswami was little sad in his mood. Why? Because he remembered the feelings of separation of the gopis and became empathetic towards them. And because of the empathy, he spoke like this. Otherwise there was no suddenly topic. So Parikshitam Puru Katham Smarayati, and he's reminding Parikshit the earlier instance of Gopi speaking. Mukundasya vigame vrajat nirgamana samaye ya ashisha bhavishyanti sukh sampatti asasate. So what the gopis have spoken about Krishna when he was leaving, that what will happen, the wealth of happiness which people of Mathura will receive. So as if that has come true now. Asmakam ashisho adya purasyaha prapshanti iti abhashanta. So the blessings which we have, this blessing will be experienced by the ladies of the city of Mathura today. So although it looks like a long day, but they just left in the morning. Right? It was not a long time ago. But so many things happened. But it's just one day. Otherwise, when you read the whole explanation, it looks like as if at least a whole week has passed. But still just same day. So that's why it says Adya, today. Adya dhruvam tat sukham prabhata.
Because they reach there in afternoon. It is a half a day because they reach there in afternoon.
Yeah. Sukham prabhata rajniyamiti. So this is the words of the gopis. Adya dhruvam tatra drisho bhavishyata, that there will be festival for the eyes of the Yadavas. Ityadikasta Madhupuriya Krishna Gatra Shobham Pashyatam Ritaha Satya Yathartha Eva Bhuvan. So the words which they spoke came true when the city of Mathura was seeing the beauty of Krishna's body. So city means the people of the city. So it must have been a big festival for people to see Krishna. Katham tadrishinam vilopoktiraphi anyatha bhavediti bhava. So why he is saying like this? He is saying that even what they said while they were wailing came true. What to speak of, they will say something seriously. Says, how can their words be false? Because they are such great devotees of Sri Krishna. They said something, although they said in their moment of separation and sadness, but even that is coming true. So that is the meaning of it. Sri Strailokya Vartini api Shobha Sarva Shobhadishthatri Devata Itaran Bhajtah Sva Kamaya Mananapi Punsastyaktva Gatra Shobham Chakame. So Shri here means beauty and not Lakshmi. He says that beauty, which is the beauty of all the three worlds, or the presiding deity of the beauty, Sarvashobha Adhishtatri Devata. So all other people, they want that beauty. Everybody wants beauty. Everybody is trying to look beautiful. So therefore, that is the meaning, that everybody is worshipping the Sobha Devata, or the deity of the beauty. But she does not care for anybody. She desires only to be with Krishna. So therefore he says that Swam kamaya mananapi, that although they are desiring, starting from Brahma onwards, punsas tyaktva yam gatra shobham chakme. So abandoning all people, she is desiring the beauty of Krishna. Means the beauty is desiring the beauty. Everybody is desiring her, and she is desiring the beauty of Krishna's body. How is that he is so beautiful? So therefore beauty also wants to be beautified. Like the beauticians, they also want to be beautified. So that's why it is said Bhushana Bhushanangam itivat Swam Sobhaitum iti bhava. Why is that beauty personified wants to be desiring the beauty of Krishna's form? So because Krishna is called Bhushana Bhushanangam, that the ornaments become ornamented by being on Krishna's body. The ornaments appear like real ornaments, as if they have been ornamented. Ornaments beautify others, but when they are on Krishna's body, they feel beautified. So therefore the beauty which is desired by everybody, that beauty was desiring Krishna's beauty, so that she will become more beautiful. That is the meaning. So Gatra Lakshmim Vishnasti, so he is distinguishing the beauty of Krishna's body. Ayanam Prakrita Sarva Sobhanam Ashraniyam Ityartha. So the meaning is that the beauty of Krishna's body is the shelter of all the beauties, whether material or spiritual. Anything which is beautiful in the material world and in the spiritual world, that finds its resting place in Krishna's body. So meaning that there is nobody who is more beautiful than him. So that's why Sri Rupa Goswami says that Krishna has got 4 special qualities which are not found even in Vishnu or any other avatar of Vishnu. And one of them is Rupa Madhuri. So sweetness of his form, his beauty. So beauty is not only physical beauty, but he is full of love, and that love is beautiful. So that makes him supremely beautiful. So that's why he says that Chakme Ainam Shri, that Shri desired that let this become my shelter. Avniktangri yuglau bhuktva kshiropasechanam ushatustam sukham ratrim gyatva kam sachakirshitam. So then they came to their carts, and now they were hungry because it's time for dinner. So first they washed their feet. Avnikta Angri Yuglam. So this was a custom before. If you want to eat, then you have to have your feet, hand, eyes wet. So wash your feet, wash your hands, your eyes and mouth. So 7 things. So they did that. They did not take bath. You could have jumped into Yamuna also, but they just washed the feet. Savniktangri yuglam bhuktva kshiropasechanam. And then what did they eat? They ate sweet rice. Rice cooked in milk. Kshiropasechanam. Kshira is milk. Upsechan is actually when you pour it from the top. So accompanying with it is called also upsechan. So means something made from milk. Maybe dalia, porridge, right? Sweet rice, something. So Ushatu Stam Sukham Ratrim, and then they slept happily. There was no stress, no tension. Relax. They were not in anxiety. What will happen tomorrow? What will happen? If you have a wrestling match in Olympics, and next day is your match, then will you sleep happily like that? No, you will be so much in stress. Maybe wrestling in the dreams also. Yeah, people when they are in competition, they are like that. Been to competition, then you have participated in competition. How stressful is it, right? So there was a competition next day. They did not come here just for picnic, but they're taking it coolly. So that's how play should be. Now people play and they become stressed, right? Play is not for stress. Play is to relieve stress. So we should learn this from Krishna. So he says, Ushatu Stam Sukham Ratri. Both of them. Nanda Maharaj was in anxiety. What will happen to my children? But they were not. And Gyatva Kamsa Chikirshitam. Although they knew what Kamsa is planning to do, they knew that he is trying to kill them, but they were not stressed. तस्माद परिहारे अर्थे मातुम सोचितुम अर्हसि. Swavniktam Dasa Ikshalitam Angri Yuglam Yayostav. Swavniktam means washed, means they did not wash their feet themselves, but they had servants who washed their feet. So they also had people to serve them. Kshiropsechanam Kshirena Vrajastha Krishna Priya Vayaskani Shakata Uparisthagnī Dhanyam Vrajeshwaryai Varpit Bhandasthena Upsichyamanam Odanam Bhuktva Kamshasya Chikirshitam Paredyavi Swa Hinsan Vyavasayam Gyatvapi Sukhashvapadhikyena Ushatu. So he says that in Vraja there are some special cows, Priya Vayaskani, which are very dear to Krishna, and he drinks their milk or eats products made from their milk. So that is Vayaskani. Vrajastha Krishna Priya Vayaskani. So when they came from there, they also brought this Angiti. What will be the word? There is a word for that also in English, I forget now. Where you use some wood or something to burn and then you can put the pot on top. So Shakato Uparistha Agni Dhani. So in Sanskrit it is called Agni Dhani. Okay? Stove. Wood stove. There is actually, it's also called Hasanti, I think in Sanskrit, another word. So they also brought that to make their food. So they have their traveling stove and some wood or maybe cow dung cakes, or Vrajeshwari has put the pot itself. She cooked in the morning, early morning, and gave it to them. Or in the meantime they had cooked it, whichever. Both are possible. So Vrajeshwarya Varpit Bhandasthena Upsichyamanya. So there was some sweet rice, they ate that. Called. So Kansasya Chikirshitam Pare Devi Swahinshan Vyavasayam Gyatvapi. And although they knew what Kamsa is trying to do, he is planning to kill them. So it's not just a competition that you will win or lose, but it was also a competition for their life, that you can not just lose the game but lose your life. So therefore, although they knew that, but they did not worry. Because what is the point in worrying? People worry, right? What will happen tomorrow? What will happen then? What will happen then? But what is the benefit of worrying? Any benefit? Except that you lose your sleep, and then when you are not rested properly, you cannot write your exam. But they say that your adrenal is released, so you become more active. Then you feel stressed later on. Right? Fight or flight mode. And the third one is freeze. So they did not do anything like that. So we should learn this from him. That unless you have to prepare for something, you can do that. But if there is no preparation, you think, why be in anxiety? So they slept happily, sukham. So sukha swapadhikyena ushatu. Not only that they slept, but they had a very deep sleep. They're completely relaxed. Because there was nothing to do in Raj. He has to get up at night and go out, right? He has his night Līlā also. But here there was nothing like that. So he just slept. But Nanda Maharaj, he was worried. He was saying or thinking, Bho putra, O my sons, Adya kim kritam mugdhabhyam yuvabhyam. Says, what have you done today? Mugdha means like foolishly. Hanta hanta alas alas katham architam dhanur bhagnam. How is that you broke the bow which was being worshipped? Katham vata darakshino hata. And then why did you kill the guards? Not only that you broke the bow, you also killed those people, poor guys. Na jane krudhyan kamsah swaha kim karishyati. Now I don't know what Kamsa will do tomorrow, because he must be very angry. Because he broke the bow and also killed his men. So he'll be very upset. Ha ha katham maya goshthat yuvam anita iti bhitasya sarva ratri madrina anidranasya piturnandasya vakyam swapadhikyadeva tau na shrutvanto iti. So Nanda Maharaj was not only thinking like this, but he was also speaking like this, that what will happen tomorrow now, and I made a big mistake that I brought you here, now what will happen, and something happens to you, what will I tell to Yashoda when I go back? So he was all worried about all these things, and in this way, full of fear, he could not sleep whole night. He was just turning sides, left, right. And before night also he didn't sleep because he was talking with Akrura. Right? It was described that they spoke all night, sitting down. But Krishna and Balaram, they did not hear anything because they were in deep sleep. So it says, Swapadhikyada eva tau na shrutavanta. They did not hear anything because Nanda Maharaj was probably talking to other Upananda, Sunanda, all his brothers, that what will happen tomorrow. They must be discussing that. So these two brothers, they just slept. So now the focus shifts to the other side, Kamsa side. What happened to Kamsa? Did he sleep? he also did not sleep. So Kamsastu dhanusho bhangam rakshinam swabalasya cha vadham nishamya govinda rama vikriditam param. So Kamsa, he heard that the bow has been broken and the guards have been killed, and this was just like a play for them. It was like warm up. Right? If you go to competition, you go there 1 or 2 days or few days before, then previous day you practice. So it says this was Vikriditam. Vikriditam Vrajvadhu Viridam cha Vishnu. So this was just a play for him. And Kamsa got now scared. Says, how am I going to handle these two guys? Tamcha vadham kevalam Ram Krishnayor vikriditam natu parakramam nishamya. So he also heard this, that Krishna and Balaram, they broke the bow just like as if playing, and they also killed. So he says they are very powerful. He heard all this. So therefore he could not sleep at night. Dirgha prajagaro bhito durnimattani durmati bahuni achashta ubhayatha mrityar dautya karani cha. So he says that he was remaining awake for a long time, dirgha prajagaro. Why? Because he was full of fear, bhita. Why was he full of fear? That now my death has come. He has actually invited him. He should not have invited. Then Krishna would not come there. So bhito durnirmittani durmati, and this foolish Kamsa, he was seeing bad omens. So as Arjuna was saying in Bhagavad Gita, nimittani cha pashyami, that I am seeing some omens. So he was also seeing bad omens, durnimittani durmati, bahuni achashta ubhayatha, and he saw many of the omens, and he saw them both while he was awake. Then he saw, and he will fall asleep, then he will dream and he will see, and then he will wake up and he will see outside also. So he was seeing in his wakeful state and dream state, and these omens were not good. They were like messengers of death. Mrityur dautya karanicha, as if the death has sent this message to Kamsa that now your time has come. If you have any last wish, if you have to write your will, right, you better do that now. If you have to reveal some secret of your kingdom to somebody, some message to your family members, if you want to meet someone, do it tonight, because tomorrow you will be in samadhi. So that's the message he's getting. So bhayatha swapna jagar prakarena mrityur dautyam eva kurvanti tani. So he was seeing these omens both when he was dreaming or when he was awake, and they were just like as if there are some messages being sent from the death. Sometimes you get threat, right? There is a bomb there. Recently it happened somewhere in Delhi, I think, that there is a bomb in the school. So they have to vacate 100 schools. So now he describes what are these omens. Adarshanam swasirshaha pratirupe cha sati api asati api dutiye cha dvairupyam jyotisham tatha. So he saw that he does not have his head. Is it possible to see your own body which does not have a head? And this was in the shadow or in the image. Means if he stood in front of the mirror, then he saw his body without head. Or if he walked, or in the dream, he saw his shadow, there is no head. So pratirupecha sati api. And then he saw the moon or sun, etc. And they appeared two. Generally you can see two if you put your finger in your eye and twist it. Then one moon will appear like two moons. But he was not doing that. Asati api dutiyacha dvarupyam jyotisham tatha. So sun, moon, etc. they appeared double. So tani darshayati tribhir darpanado. So these omens are being described in the 3 verses. Darpanado pratirupe drishyamane api swasirshas tatra darshanam. So if he saw his image in the mirror, then although his head is there on his body, obviously there are how he is seeing. But in the mirror, the head was not there. Is it possible? How is it possible? Mirror just makes the image. So how is that mirror learn this technique? How will you feel if you went to the mirror and you don't see your head? You will collapse. You'll probably run out. Become so scared. And dvitiya dvarupya hetu bhute chakshurantardhan karindyangulyaadav asiti api jyotisham chandradinam dittam. And although he was not putting his finger into his eyes, but still he was seeing the moon as two. So these are bad omens. And Chidra Pratitis Chayayam Pranaghosha Anupashrutihi Svarna Pratitir Vriksheshu Swapada Nam Darshanam. And he saw that his shadow had holes in it. So he had a holy shadow. It was full of holes. And he could not hear the sound of his own breath. If you take your breath, you can hear some sound. Do Bhastrika pranayam. So he tried to do Bhastrika, but no sound was coming. And the trees appeared golden. Swarna pratitir viksheshu, as if they are covered by some golden color. That's how he saw the trees. And swapadanam adarshanam. And if he is walking, his feet are not making footmark on sand or mud or anything. So they're not. Chayayam swapratibimba kshidra pratiti. In the shadow, he saw that there were holes. And pihita karnaputasya yo antah shrui manudhvani sa pranaghosastasya ashravanam. And if you close your ears with your fingers, then you hear a sound inside, zzz, like that. So that sound is called pranaghosha. So he did not hear that. So that's sign of death. In Ayurveda Charak Samhita also it is described that when death comes, what are the various symptoms, natural death. They give a list. They also give a time. If this happens, means you will die in 6 months. If this happens, you will die in 3 months. There are many symptoms given in Charak Samhita. So these are dying in one day. It's very close death. You're going to die next day. And Rajaha Kardamadishu Swapadanam adarshanam. So if he walked on sand, then his feet did not make footmarks, or if he walked in mud, there also no footprints were made. Etani jagarana durnirmittani. So these are the signs or bad omens which he saw when he was awake. Now the next verse describes the signs which he saw when he was sleeping or he fell asleep. Although he could not fall asleep, but in between he was dozing off. Like you do that in the plane. If you're traveling at night, don't fall asleep, but you may fall off for a short time, have a little dream, wake up again. So that's what he was doing. So what did he see in the dream? Swapne preta parishwangaha kharayanam vishadanam. Yaya naladam alyeka stelabhyakto digambaraha. So he saw that in the dream he was being embraced by ghosts. So ghosts also have different type of appearances described as associates of Shiva. Some have 3 eyes, some have 3 hands, some have their eyes in their belly, different places. Some have their mouth in their chest. They have different funny creatures. Some are very tall, some are small. Their feet are backwards. Right? This is one of the signs of the ghost. They're like your feet are front, their feet are back, twisted like that. So they were embracing, he says, your friend. Because ghost in Sanskrit is called preta. Preta means dead. So he says, we are welcoming you. You can come. Join us tomorrow. So they are introducing themselves in advance. Just giving a prelude where you are going. So Kharayanam, and he was having a ride on a donkey. Right? This is the Jesus will come to Israel riding on a donkey. It's written like that?
Yeah, white donkey.
White donkey. So here Kamsa is having a ride on a white donkey. Maybe Kamsa will go there. Kharayanam. And Vishadanam. Vishadanam means eating poison. And Yayat Analada Malyeka, and he was going somewhere alone, and he had a garland of Nalada flower, this hibiscus, red color flower. I think we used to have a plant here. We have. So he had that garland made from that red color. And his body was massaged with oil, and he was completely naked, Digambar, like a Jain sadhu. So Vishadanam Pretair Mritair Bhratri Bandhuvi Saha Parishwanga. He says, who were these ghosts? He says these were all his friends and family members who had died earlier. Because all the Bakasur, Aghasur, they all came. They are waiting for him. Of course, Krishna gave them mukti, right? So there must be some other people. They are not, they are not killed by Krishna. Because all those people who got killed by Krishna got moksha. So he says, Pretair, Mirtair, Bhratri, Bandhuvi. Some people who have died before, maybe senior members of his family. And Kharayanam Gardhavarun, he was riding on a donkey, and Vishadanam, he is eating poison, and Nalad Mali, Japakusham Malavan. So he is having this Japakusham, it's a red color flower. Yayada gacchedati yattadapi ekam. When he was walking alone. As a king, he is never alone. There are always people around him. But now here in the sleep, he is alone. So these are the durnimitta he saw. Anyani cha itham bhutani swapna jagaritani cha pashyan marana santrasto nidram lebhen chintaya. So he saw many others omens like this in his wakeful state as well as in the dream state. And therefore he became terrified of death, that I am going to die now. Marana santrasto nidram lebhe. Therefore he could not sleep. So he was having these nightmares even before. In the Krishna series it is shown like that he will be sleeping and then he is having a nightmare. He wakes up shouting and then he sees that he is in his room, sleeping room, then he goes back to sleep and then he has another nightmare. So that's what he was having. But he could not have good sleep. Vishtayam nishi kauravya surye chadbhya samuthite karyamasa vaikamso malyakrida mahotsavam. So in this way he spent the night, O Parikshit, and he got up when the sun rose in the east, saying that sun is coming out of the water. And then Kamsa, he ordered everybody to prepare for the wrestling festival, Mallakrida Mahotsava. So that is Vishtayam Prabhatayam Surya Chadbhya iti tatha cha Shruti Yodgan Mahato Arnavat Vibhrajamana Salilasya Madhyat Sama Vrishabho Lohitaksha Suryo Vipaschin Mansa Punatu. So when the night passed, he woke up in the morning when the sun was up, and the statement is the sun comes out from the ocean. There is a similar statement found in the Shruti in the Vedas, that one who comes out from the great ocean, shining, and then has red eye, that sun may purify my mind. Just a prayer like that. Anarchuhu Purusharangam Turya Bhairiyascha Jagnire Manchascha Alankrita Shragbhi Pataka Chailitoranaihi. So it's just describing how the stadium, there was a big stadium which was prepared. It's called Rangmanch. If you read Natya Shastra Bharat Muni, there are description of the Rangmanch for making play or festival like that. So there are different sizes, directions, various types, big descriptions given there, because there was a big custom of having these festivals. So people, they worshipped the Rangmancha, which means they prepared. There were also music, Turiya Bhairiyascha Jagnire, the playing of the Turiya and Bhairi, the drums, etc. And Manchascha Alankrita, the stage was decorated very nicely with flower garlands, with what you call flags and pieces of cloth and torana, bandanwara, festoons, like you tie balloons these days. In the olden days there was no balloons, so we'll use colorful cloths and tie them around, hang flowers, fruits. So very nice decoration was being done. So Panvanaka, Gomukhati, Turiam, various types of musical instruments were played. Teshu Paura Janapadaha Brahma Kshatra Purogamaha Yatha Pujosham Vivashu Rajanascha Kritasanaha. So then gradually the people started coming in for the festival from the city, and from the nearby towns also. It was not only people coming from the Mathura city, but nearby towns like Agra, Hathras, Aligarh, right? Chatikara, all these people, Kosi. So they all came, coming on their horses, carts, etc. So Paura and Janapada, so districts, county, what they say in the west. And Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, they were in the front of these people. So they all came and they occupied the seats as per their liking, Yathaupajosham, Vivasham. And then there were also kings, because Kamsa had many small kings under him. So they also came and took their seats, Kritasana. So Brahmana, Kshatra, Mandaleshwara, Purogama, Mukhya Yesham Te Yathapajosham Yathasukam Ragya Visnasti. So just like now the state has got various small divisions which you call as county or districts. So previously also the king used to be there under him. The kingdom was divided in small parts. So there were people who were in charge of that. They were called Mandaleshwaras. What you have now, district magistrate here in Mathura. So there will be people. So they all started coming and occupying their seats. It was already designated who is going to sit where. And then finally Kamsa himself came. Kamsaha parivrito matei rajamancha upavishat mandaleshwara madhyastho hridayena viduyat. So he was being surrounded by his ministers and he came there and he went on the royal throne, Rajmancha Upavishat. And he was being surrounded by the Mandaleshwaras, these smaller kings around him who were under him. But inside his heart, he was feeling a lot of distress, pain, because he had big anxiety that today is his last day. So Viduyata Tapyamanena, he was suffering like anything inside his heart, fearing his death. Vadyamaneshu Turyeshu Mallatalottareshu cha Mallasvalankrita Dripta Sopadhyaya Samavishan. And at that time the drums were being played. Have you seen wrestling matches in India, in the villages? So there is a guy who goes around with the drum. Then you have to make announcement, the wrestler come. So you have to announce the name of the wrestler and who is his guru and to which akhada he belongs. The referee, like these days also they say, when the match is going on, he will lift the hand of the wrestler and he's so and so, is from this country. If you have seen Olympic matches. So in olden time was also like that. So the wrestlers came and the drum were being played and the wrestlers are coming. It's called Mallatala. So this is called Mallatala Uttaresucha because they're all excited. And they're all dressed nicely, Malla Swalankirta Dripta, and very proud because each one thinks I'm going to be the winner. Sopadhyaya Samavishan, and they came along with their teachers, wrestling gurus. So that's how they entered there. So Mallanam Tal Shabdotreshu Uchchahi Shravita Tal Shabdeshu Ityartha. So Malla, the wrestlers, they're making this loud signs, so it was heard. And Upadhyaya, Malla Shikshacharya. Upadhyaya means the teachers or acharyas of the wrestlers. Tai Sahita. So they came. Chanuro Mushtikaha Kutaha Shalastoshla Evacha Tashe Durupasthanam Valgu Vadya Praharshitaha. So these were the main wrestlers, Chanura, Mushtika, Kuta, Shala and Toshala. So they came and they sat, they took their seats, and they were very happy, and special music was played for them when they entered, because they are the chief wrestlers of Kamsa. So, any commentary on this? Upasthanam Malyarang Bhumim. So they came to the wrestling place. And then came Nanda Maharaj. So Nanda Maharaj came before Krishna and Balaram. Krishna and Balaram come later on, because they are also the wrestlers, so they will enter later. So Nanda Gopadaya Gopa Bhojaraja Samahutaha Nivedito Payanaste Kasmin Manchaya Vishan. So Kamsa specifically called for Nanda Maharaj and cowherd people. So they all came, being called by him. And they had also brought some gifts for him. Some ghee, some butter, some laddu, some rabdi, right? All these things they brought, pots full of them in the carts. So they offered this to Kamsa because he is the king. And then they all sat together on one part of the stage. So this is the last sloka of this chapter. So Samahutaha, why is it said that they were called by Kamsa? He explains that Samyak Sadaram Saswasham Chahuta Ityartha. The meaning is that they were called by Kamsa with respect and to give them confidence, because they may be scared. Tatra Ashvasascha Bho Vrajraja Tvam me Mandaleshwar Mukhyo Asi Gosthad Agato Api Kim Bhitya Eva Mamna Sangato Abhu. So as if Kamsa meant to tell him that, oh Nanda Maharaj, you are the chief of the Gopas, you are the chief of the Mandaleshwaras, and you have come from Vraj. So why you did not come and meet me? Why you are hiding? Come. Dhanur Bhanga Khalu Putriyor Dauratmyam Mamanstha. So you may be fearing that your sons broke my bow. He says, don't think like that. This is called polity. He doesn't want to show that inside he is fearing. Tabhyam hi hya swabal pariksha eva mahyam datta. He said, I have kept this bow there just to test how powerful they are. So there is nothing to worry about it. It's okay. Tau balishthau shrutva eva drashtum ahutau. So because I know that they are very strong, that's why I have called them for wrestling. So nothing to worry. Tatayuyam shigram agachta ma bheshta ityadikam. So please come. This is a message he sent to Nanda Maharaj. He says, therefore come quickly, don't fear. Because Nanda Maharaj was already fearing what will happen now. Ateva Rajagauravadeva Kwapi Pratareva Gatau Swaputrau Tatra Pashyanapi Tadagamana Pekshya Eva Paramapta Buddhi Mato Gopan Eva Tayo Rakshartam Shila Shikshanartham Cha Niyujya Hitopdesh Vakyam Sandisya Cha Drutam Nandam Ajagam. So when Nanda Maharaj got this message of Kamsa, he came quickly. But before coming, he wanted to meet Krishna and Balaram, but they have already left early morning. He did not see them. So since he did not see them and he did not want to wait for them because Kamsa has called, so therefore he left. But he instructed some of intelligent cowherd elderly men that please take care of Krishna and Balaram and also instruct them how to behave when they come there. We are going to the king, said, so they should know how to behave with respect. And he himself also gave some instructions for Krishna and Balaram, and then he left quickly from there. उपनंदादयश्च द्रुतमायातः कंसाय निवेदित दधि घृत वस्त्र स्वर्ण मुद्रादि उपायनः. And then Upananda, Nanda Maharaj's younger brother, he also came quickly and he offered various gifts to Kamsa, such as yogurt, ghee, some cloth, and golden coins, maybe some fruits from Braj. So Rajmanche Upavesha Sthala Adarshanad Ragya Hagya Eva Anyasmin Ekasmin Vanche Upavesha. But they were not asked to sit next to the king, but they were pointed to another stage. Various stages were made all around the stadium. So they all went together and sat in one place. So iti sarartha darshinyam harshinyam bhaktachetasam dvichatvarinshaka sadhu dasmeya jani sangatah. So this ends the commentary on the 42nd chapter of 10th canto called Sarartha Darshini. And we'll stop. The next chapter will speak about how Krishna will kill elephant and then enter the Rangamanch. Some big action will happen in this chapter. We'll stop here. Any question? Yeah.
Babaji, in the beginning you spoke about anxiety and how it manifests in different life situations. Could you please explain what's the reason of this anxiety within a human being and how to counteract it?
Well, the main reason is because we identify with our body and we have fear that something can happen. Body is fragile. So we have attachment to our own body or attachment to things related to body, family members, wealth, all these things. So we fear that we can lose it or some harm can come it. So that's what gives stress. Malati.
Babaji, in verse 29, Svarna Pratitir Viklishu. I have not heard an explanation of that and why this is an inauspicious omen.
Why putting oil on the body is inauspicious? Or having a garland? So these are just some signs which are interpreted like that. There is a book called Swapna Shastra. There are many books, traditional books related with Jyotish also. So they give interpretation of dreams.
But this golden view, I mean, why is it, if a tree is golden, it sounds very auspicious.
May sound auspicious, but it signifies, well, death is also auspicious. Right? In some situation, death is preferable, right? Many people speak like that, so it's auspicious for him, he will be killed by Krishna. So some auspiciousness is there.
Thank you.
Could you again maybe please summarize the storyline? I got a little bit lost.
The storyline.
Specifically, so what I understood is that Akrura, he came to Vraja, he gave the message that Kamsa wants to see or invites the Gopas all, including Krishna and Balaram, but only Krishna and Balaram knew that he wants to kill them actually, right? Nanda did not know it, otherwise he would not let them go, right? So now how is it that Nanda Maharaj now got into this anxiety? I thought he didn't know that there will be a fight.
Well, at least now they broke the bow and killed so many people. So you think that Kamsa is going to bless them for that? Or?
Yes. got it. Okay, that's yeah.
Also killed his dhobi, his washerman.
Yeah.
He says, who's this guy? He killed him and he took my clothes. You think king will be happy?
No, not at all. I see. So it's his superior, and now he has to go give some gifts and taxes, and now he will be naturally be questioned what his boys are doing. No?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And then, but then in the early morning, Krishna and Balaram they left before the other gopas, yeah. Okay. And did they all sit down together there?
Yeah. Not Krishna and Balaram are not there. They will come later.
Okay, so Nanda Gopadayo is only... Okay, everyone except Krishna and Balaram.
Yeah, maybe some friends with them.
Okay. Good.
There must be some other cowherd people with them.
I see, because later they will enter the arena also, together with the wrestlers.
They will come.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So he was then also probably in anxiety, where are the boys, no?
Yeah. What they are up to now. They already done so much in few hours. Okay, Bhadra.
Babaji. My question is regarding like a person who is in ignorance, but then his ignorance is relieved, maybe he is relieved from anxiety. But in case of cancer, he was a king, he had access to this, he was highly educated, so he knew he was not the body, and he still was
He was what?
anxiety for years.
He was what?
He was a king.
So,
he was a king.
So kings don't have anxiety?
No, that means that he had access to, like, he was highly educated, so he knew that he was not the body and all that, and still he felt anxiety. So my question is...
But he knew that
because of his...
He already knew that he will be dying. I mean, he heard the whole problem started. He got the voice from the sky that he will be killed by the 8th son of Devaki. So he knows this now.
So is it because of his demoniac nature that he could not, like, realize he was doing a mistake, or
He was doing what?
like he was doing a mistake by treating Krishna that way? Like, it is because of his demoniac nature?
I didn't hear the word. He was doing what? What is the word he's saying? I cannot hear you.
Doing a mistake. He didn't realize he was making a mistake.
What mistake?
He didn't know it.
Like because of his demoniac nature, he couldn't understand the real circumstance, like having an accurate perception of his reality.
Yeah, but that's how people are in the material world. Why you think he's some sage? You're thinking he's some muni or some sage, or he's some acharya or what? Just a person who is attached to material life.
Yeah, but there are other examples in which people that is attached to material life, they got the mercy of a sage and they couldn't understand. But he had access to all that, and still he was, like, fighting against that.
Yeah, this is how ahankara works.
Okay.
Because when you have power, then you also have big ahankara. I mean, not always, but people who are not devotional or spiritual, then power makes them proud, whether it is power of wealth, power of people, power of position, physical power. Just read Bhagavad Gita. So, ko asti sadrisho maya, yakshe dasyami modeshe ityagyan vimohita. They get bewildered by their power. People become rich, they become also proud. People are beautiful, they are proud. People get some high knowledge, they become proud. They acquire some high post, they become proud. And some people, sometimes they say that even a pauper is proud of his, what is called? Penny. So it's just a pride. That's how it works. Everybody has some pride, isn't it? You also have some pride that you are Bhadra. Who is there like me, another person? Don't you feel better than your neighbor? Yes or no?
Maybe.
So it's like that. Okay, Mohini.
You explained that in Charaka Samhita the symptoms of death are explained. When this happens, one may die in the 6th month, when this happens in 3 months. Could you please give some examples?
What example? I'm not reading Charaks. Come on, I'm not remembering everything. I'm not reading Charak Samhita here. You can read. Something is that you don't hear properly, or your vision, eye vision decreases. You see stars in the daytime. This is one of them. I mean, I don't remember. I read it long ago. I can't remember. You can Google.
Can I ask a question to chapter 41?
What question?
In the verse 28, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling that by hearing and meditating on such pastimes, one will conquer enemies of lust, anger, greed, and envy. Is this a general statement, or is it referring especially to the pastimes which just happened, like how the ladies were attracted to Krishna? They left everyone, they left everything, and they had a similar condition like the gopis when they left.
He is not. Let me say what he is saying first of all, because you are making too much. Of course, what you are saying is right, but he is saying to Parikshit Maharaj, he is calling him as Arindama, or one who has overpowered his enemies. And he says, by hearing this type of Leela of Bhagwan, you have already conquered our enemies such as lust. So he is referring this to Parikshit Maharaj. Now what is your question? I don't know. This is what he is saying.
Okay. Oh, I thought that this is an instruction, like when one...
Why you think like this? Why don't you read what is written there?
Oh, but I think that translation is not clear from this Mahamini's book.
What is written in the translation? Read.
It's written by the phrase, "O subduer of enemies." Shukadev Goswami implies that by hearing and meditating on such pastimes as this, one can conquer the enemies of lust, greed, anger, and envy. So I thought, like, to what is this referring to? Is this a general instruction? Like, when one remembers Krishna-līlā generally?
Yes, it is a general instruction. If you take it that way, if you take that as translation, then it's a general instruction. Krishna says this in Janam Karmacha Me Divyam Evam Yovati Tattvata Tattva Deham Punarjanme Neti Mameti Swarjan. In Bhagavad Gita also is saying.
Gurudev, what are the different meaning of the wrestlers? Charur, Mushtik, and everything.
Mushtik, you know. Mushtik is, this is called Mushti. So is Mushtika means boxer.
And Charur or
Chanur. Chanur, I don't know what Chanur will mean. I don't.
There were 5, I think. You mentioned 5 wrestlers?
Yeah. Toshala, Shala, Shalai means himsa, killer. Yeah, Shalahimsayam. But Chanur, I don't know what is the meaning.
Babaji, my question is related to the context of the match. This kind of wrestling that they were invited there, was this type of submission wrestling, or was like a death match? This kind of Roman or Greek type of event where.
At that time there was no Roman Greek here. It was only Indian style.
I know. I know. That's what I want to know, because when we come to study the martial arts of India, Kalari, Chekor Kalari, all of these, they are quite intense with the weapons, everything. So I wanted to know.
No, without weapons.
Okay.
Only just wrestling by here. In wrestling you don't use any weapon.
It's more like submission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just throw the guy down on the floor and jump on him. Seen freestyle wrestling?
Yes.
That's what it is. Okay.